I'm not really sure about that because this is an important topic. So let me just talk to you about the top 10 startup business loans with no credit check. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Story Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you about the top 10 startup business loans with no credit check. Number 10, we have Kiva US. Our score, 7 over 10. When you think about Kiva, I want you to think about a nonprofit lender, okay? So basically, this is a platform where you can just ask for a little bit of loan. What we love about this loan is that it is an interest-free business loan, okay? But the maximum amount is $15,000. $15,000. So here are the pros and cons. With Kiva, you have no interest. You have a long repayment term, monthly repayments, and this is kind of suitable for startups. Now, lenders who are on Kiva are not really motivated, quote unquote, by money. They want to help people. They really want to help entrepreneurs. So this is a no interest micro loan, okay? And what are the cons? You have low borrowing amounts, so $15,000. And the thing here is that you have to actually do a little bit of a presentation. You got to talk about your business. You got to first of all, you have to register on the platform and explain your business model, all that kind of stuff, okay? And what we have found is that you can borrow from $1,000 to $15,000. So Kiva US, our score is 7 over 10. Number 9, folks, we have here Tailor. Our score is 8 over 10. So when you think about Tailor, I want you to think about a marketplace lender. In other words, they are going to match you with other lenders. They're not a direct lender, okay? So when you apply through them, they basically will actually see your profile and they will see in their network which kind of lender actually suits your business needs, okay? So the process is very simple. You apply online, so you have to submit your business information and you will get instantly matched with your personal lending advisor. So this person will actually you have to talk to the lending advisor, and he or she will give you a quote for how much you qualify for and walk you through the application process, okay? And then you get funded. So you compare your offers, lock down your funding, and you take the next step in your business journey. So they will give you the money. So with Tailor, you can actually borrow up to $500,000, and in some cases $1 million. It really depends on the solidity of your business plan, on the performance of your business, and other ancillary information, okay? And with Tailor, you can actually get a term loan, equipment financing, merchant cash advance, a line of credit, a cash flow loan, and even business credit cards, okay? And all of this with no credit check, because they kind of look at your sales, they look at your assets, okay? They look at your company's net worth. They're not looking at your personal credit. Number 8, folks, we have Shopify Capital. Our score 8 over 10. So when you think about Shopify Capital, you're thinking about sellers who actually are using Shopify already. So if you sell through Shopify, they will see your activity, they will see your transactional volume, and they'll base their lending decision based on those criteria, not based on your personal credit, okay? So the pros and cons of Shopify Capital. You have pros, you have high borrowing amounts, competitive rates, relaxed borrower requirements, no repayment deadline for cash advances. What about the cons? Now, this lending program is only available to Shopify sellers in certain states, and there's no way to apply because Shopify will reach out to you if you are a qualified candidate. That's the whole thing. That's what we don't like with this lending program. It is very good though. It is great, but they will reach out to you. There's nothing you can do about it. The thing is, you have to use either Shopify e-commerce or Shopify point of sale, the device, the POS. This is how they can see how much you're making, and they can see, so because the decision is based on your revenue, not on your personal credit. And you can actually get a cash advance loan ranging from $200 to $2 million, okay? And you have to repay it within 12 months, and you have to repay the loan based on a percentage of your daily sales, okay? So that's what it is. Number 7, folks, we have PayPal working capital. Our score 8.5 over 10. With PayPal working capital, the process is analogous to Shopify. In other words, PayPal is giving you a loan based on your transactional volume with them, your sales with them. They're not looking at your credit check. They're not doing a credit check on you. They don't care about that, you know. So the pros and cons: you have a simple application process. They have also flexible borrower requirements, same day funding, so approved loans are funded in minutes, and there's no personal guarantee, there's no credit check. The cons: this is only available to PayPal sellers, and the borrowing rate can be high. So if you are a PayPal seller right now and you need funding with no credit check, I would say try the PayPal working capital program, okay? And the cool thing is that many businesses that we know uses PayPal to accept payments on their websites or in person using a POS such as PayPal Zettle, okay? So this is if you want to qualify for this, you need to have a PayPal business or premier account for 90 days or more and process at least $15,000 in annual PayPal sales, okay? If you have a business PayPal account or $20,000 with a premier account. This is what it is. And PayPal can fund you actually all the way to $250,000. Number 6, folks, we have Square Capital. Our score 8.5 over 10. Square Capital is kind of identical to PayPal Capital and Shopify Capital. In other words, they are using the information that they have collected from their POS device. You know, they really see how much you're pulling in terms of revenue, and based on that, they will give you a loan. So when we talk about Square Capital, we're talking about small business loans from $300 to $250,000. Okay, here are the pros and cons. Pros: you have good borrowing rates, relaxed borrower requirements. This is fast and convenient, and no collateral required for loans under $250,000 or in some cases $75,000. Okay, and the cons is that this is only available to Square sellers, and merchant cannot apply for offers; they can only receive them. So you'll be contacted. Okay, so if your business uses Square POS to sell, you might be eligible for a Square Capital loan, okay? This is a short-term loan that is similar to a merchant cash advance, because your Square loan will be repaid automatically as a percentage of your daily credit card sales. This is important, and Square does not run your credit when determining your eligibility for a loan. Instead, the company considers the health of your Square account, including whether you have a good mix of new and returning customers, and you processed at least $10,000 a year with Square. Okay, $10,000, and you can borrow from $300 to $250,000. This is what it is. Number 5, folks, we have a prime rate. Our score 9 over 10. So when you think about prime rate, you're not thinking about what we love is that you have a business startup loans with no credit checks. What we love is that they will give you a personalized loan offer. They actually have a quick and simple pre-application online process. So no credit check, soft pull. This is really good, and you can actually borrow from $1,000 to $100,000. Okay, so you apply in minutes. So they have one simple application form that takes about 5 to 7 minutes to complete, and you can select your business loan offer. So they will send you a bunch of offers based on your profile, and you'll receive funds quickly. Okay, and what we love with prime rates is that they're really fast, and on top of that, when you think about this platform, I want you to think about a supermarket of business and personal loans. As you can see on the screen here, there are different types of business loans, but they also have personal loans. Okay, so the bottom line is this is a loan comparison website that actually helps borrowers get the loan they need, not only for their business but also for themselves. Okay, and for the business, on the business side, if you have a startup, they have no credit check for you. Number 4, folks, we have iCapital funding. Our score 9 over 10. So when you think about iCapital funding, I want you to think about a platform or a company that allows you to borrow up to $1 million in just 4 hours. Some cases 6 hours, but 4 hours, 4 to 6 hours, okay? And if you are a startup, not a problem, okay? They will look at they'll look at other information, not your credit check. They will look at your balance sheet. They'll look at your transactional volume, so that's your revenue. Okay, they will look at other aspects of your business performance to qualify you. Okay, so when we think about, so here are the types of financing that they offer. They have short-term business loans, long-term business loans, merchant cash advance, business line of credit, SBA business loans, invoice factoring, private business loans. Okay, and what we love with iCapital funding is that they are really quick in getting back to you. So once you fill out the information and you are interested, you want to borrow from them up to $1 million, they will get back to you. And they are really fast. I mean, they're not wasting time at all, and they will guide you through the process. Wonderful company. Number 3, folks, we have Good Capital. Our score 9.5 over 10. So when you think about Good Capital, I want you to think about another lender that will lend you up to $1 million, and they provide business loans without a credit check. So whether you are a startup or an established business, you will find your luck. You might find your luck with Good Capital, okay? And what we love also is that they have a constellation of loans. They offer several types of loans, but it depends on your profile. It depends on what your company is pulling in terms of revenue, right? Everything depends on revenue. If you want a lender not to check your credit, you need to have revenue, or you need to show revenue information or balance sheet information. They want to see the contrast between your assets and liabilities. They might want to see your income statements to see your income versus your expenses, right? So this is important. So whether you have good credit or bad credit, Good Capital could be a good place for you. Again, one thing you need to do is you need to sign up. You need to fill in your information. Once you submit your information, someone will contact you from their business loan department, and the conversation can start. Okay, you can tell them what you want. You can tell them what you need, and with the Good Capital, you can actually borrow up to $1 million. And in some cases, they have brought it down to $250,000. But the maximum loan amount is flexible, depending again on the state where you're applying from and the solidity, the strength of your business plan. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another session of the Awesome Swedish Show. We are actually having a conversation about startup business loans with no credit check. Number 2, we have Clearco. Our score 9.5 over 10. So when you think about Clearco, I want you to think about e-commerce companies. In other words, if you're not selling online, you cannot get this loan. You need to be selling online to qualify for the loan, okay? You can get up to $10 million in marketing capital in 24 hours without giving up equity. The thing here is that Clearco they have a specific process in place, okay? So they can provide you with marketing capital, but also inventory capital. So basically, the process works in a very simple way. Now, they're providing capital, but they're also giving you access to a founder community. So when you actually borrow from Clearco, you're not just borrowing money to take care of marketing or inventory. You have access to a global network of founders, partners, and investors, okay? And you can reach new customers both at home and around the world. So they are providing a wonderful network also. So here is how things work. So you actually connect to your apps. So whether you're on Shopify or Amazon or eBay, whatever, so they will connect with your tools to measure key growth metrics like monthly revenue and ad performance. So once they do that, you'll get your offer in 24 hours. So you select from 3 tailor-made funding offers ranging from $10,000 to $10 million. And you can repay on your terms, okay? So their unique revenue share model means that you only pay them, Clearco, when you make revenue, okay? You get to choose what % of your daily sales you share with them. And you can instantly top up, you can fuel and sustain growth with a steady stream of capital at your disposal. Number 1, folks, we have One Park Financial. Our score, 10 over 10. really, this lender is really great when it comes to startup business lending with no credit check. Okay, if you need funding fast, this is the place to go. They don't ask you to be an online seller or offline seller. It doesn't really matter. You can get up to from $5,000 to $500,000. Okay, and the process is very simple. You get pre-qualified fast. So this is a soft pull. You talk to their experts. You review your offers and you get funded. Okay. The thing is that in most cases they don't even do a credit check. Okay. Now in some cases, we have seen one or two instances where they do a soft pull. So they might want to check your credit not a hard pull, but a soft pull. The bottom line here is that, listen, with the One Park Financial, there is no credit check. They look at your financial performance. They look at your company's revenue, your company's assets, your company's liability, the solidity of your business plan. Okay, so qualification decisions in under 24 hours. You have competitive rates. They have you have to submit minimal documentation. Okay, funding in as little as 3 days. Okay, banking and tax liens are accepted. So if you have a tax lien, they will accept that. They have an automated online process. Okay, really good. Let's have a quick conversation about when we talk about startup business loans with no credit check. You need to understand, folks, it's really important to understand that there are other options for no credit check business financing. In other words, if you don't qualify for a business loan for some reason, I really don't know, and you need to understand that you have options. Do not panic. You got to be really patient here. Okay, why don't you try business crowdfunding? This could be a good opportunity because you can fund your startup by pitching to investors online. Okay, so all you have to do is just have your business plan, a pitch, and telling them why they should fund you. And in many cases, equity is provided in exchange for an investment. For other businesses, offering some kind of reward, such as a free or reduced price upcoming product, is enough to entice investors. Okay, so the whole thing here is that if you have less than stellar credit, and you are worried about, they probably they will not qualify me, they will not approve me, whatever, then try crowdfunding. You can also try equipment financing with bad credit. So if you have poor credit or fair credit and you don't qualify for a traditional business loan, try equipment financing. Why? This is a lot easier because you can receive the money you need to purchase long-term equipment, from a heavy machinery to company vehicles, even if you have less than stellar credit. And the cool thing is that the lender is looking at this funding program as a collateralized funding program. So if something happens, if push comes to shove and you're not paying them, they could repo the equipment. Okay. You also need to think about invoice factoring. Invoice factoring is another great funding program because you basically are using the accounts receivable as collateral for the loan. So again, when you have that, that's what I was just telling you earlier. When we talk about business loans with no credit check, we are talking about business loans where your assets can be considered, your liabilities can be considered, your revenue can be considered. So when we talk about accounts receivables are an asset. Okay, so they are a short-term assets, and this is why the lender might consider that. Okay, when it comes to invoice financing or invoice factoring. You might want to think about business grants. Yeah, I mean, business grants this is free money. You're not paying anything. Nobody's checking your credit score. Okay, the thing is that business grants require more work. You have to do research, and you need to know what kind of grants you qualify for at the federal level, at the state level, at the county level, at the city level. It really depends, and in some cases, based on your biology, you might qualify for a loan. For example, they have loans for minorities, they have loans for women, they have loans for specific sectors of the economy. So it really depends on your situation. You might based on your biology. On your geography, for example, you might qualify for a business grant. Because now, one thing that's important to understand is that when we talk about hard versus soft credit inquiries, you need to understand that whether you have if you are lucky to have a business loan with no credit check, that's great. But in some cases, a lender might want to perform a soft credit check. Now, a soft credit check has no impact on your credit score. Okay, a hard credit check does have an impact. So this is why you need to really understand that a hard credit pull is usually only performed during underwriting after you accept a loan offer. You need to accept a loan offer and you need to give them express authorization to actually pull your credit for them to have a hard credit, a hard inquiry rather. Okay, and the impact on your credit score can be somewhere from 5 to 10 points per inquiry. This is why it's really important. If you are afraid if you don't want to hurt your credit score, please do not apply with multiple lenders at once. Be strategic here, okay? So, and when we talk about bad credit, we talk about good credit. Just to remind you, we're talking about bad credit is anything from anything below 550, okay? If you are, let's say, below 550, you're in a bad credit, okay? If you're above, let's say, 550 to 620 or 650, you might qualify as fair credit. Now, the metrics are different based on how you're looking at it, but long story short, if you have good credit, you have 700 or more. And if you have less than that, you are in the category of fair or average or whatnot, okay? And if you cannot get a business loan with no credit check, there are a lot of things you can do. Try to improve your credit score. This is important. We have talked about that before. You can apply for bad credit loans. Yeah, there are bad credit business loans. In other words, there is a niche of lenders, alternative lenders, that specializes in that kind of, let's say, bad credit business loans. Also, you can think about venture capital. Think about investors, okay? Or you can agree to a soft credit check. You can say, listen, I'm fine with it. There are platforms out there that will do a soft credit check. For example, Lendio. Lendio will do that. They will do a soft credit check. You have Fundbox. You have Fundera. There are platforms out there, okay? And you can even get a business credit card also to finance whatever you need to finance. Before closing today's conversation, here is our loan evaluation approach. We have a strong methodology on this show when it comes to analyzing, reviewing, and categorizing business loans. Check this out. All right, folks, here is a recap of today's conversation. One Park Financial. Number 1, 10 over 10. Number 2, we have Clear Co. 9.5 over 10. Number 3, we have Good Capital. 9.5 over 10. Number 4, we have iCapital Funding. 9 over 10. Number 5, we have Prime Rates. 9 over 10. Number 6, we have Square Capital. 8.5 over 10. Number 7, we have PayPal Working Capital. 8.5 over 10. Number 8, we have Shopify Capital, 8 over 10. Number 9, we have Till Full, 8.8 over 10. Number 10, last but not the least, we have Kiva US. Our score, 7 over 10. Thank you so much for your attention, folks. I really appreciate it. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.